Good evening, good evening, good evening, or good morning, and welcome again to the Spotlight. We have a beautiful young lady I've known for years. I've sort of kind of seen her grow up, but we haven't been running the same circles lately. But we are Facebook friends, and me and her husband, we don't see each other much, but we thick as thieves when we do. Let me reintroduce to some, introduce to others. Nicole Powell. How are you, Nicole?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, we're here tonight because I found out you did a book and I did not know. So, we're going to hopefully uh, introduce not only yourself, but your book to some folks. And it is now for sale, and we will give that information at the end of the interview. So, it is called Shealuv's Affirmations. I got to make sure my light is correct. Now, I know Nicole. Where did Shealuv come from?
Oh gosh, I knew you was gonna ask me that. So Shealuv originally came from, it was like years ago. I had this lady make me some hair treatment stuff, and she named it Shaylo Love. And I was like, oh, this is cute. I was like, I like this name. I'm gonna use that name. She was like, yeah, you fine. This is yours. So if you look on my Instagram tag, that's been my name for years. So when I started my decorating business, I called that Shay Loves Creations. So I just kept it going with
Okay.
that name.
Unique for to say the least. So, like I said, well, like I told everybody else, I've known you for years and you have many talents. But I did not know about the writing. So, and it would surprise me that you wrote a book. So, where did the writing come from?
I don't know where the writing came from, to be honest. Like it came out the blue, I think. Like I don't know. Like I just after everything that I had went through, it was just like put on my heart to like, all right, I'm gonna well, I started doing affirmations. So I have a TikTok page that that's the page that's called Shay Loves Affirmations. And I made that like 2 or 3 years ago. And I started posting affirmations on there. And then I seen like the response from that. And I'm like, okay, wow, people really like we really need these affirmations. So something was it was just put on my heart. I'm gonna say God that it was like it was time to make it bigger, like do more, right? Instead of it just being on TikTok. So that's when I started to take pieces from out of my journal and then I started to put them together through my learning, my healing, my growing, and then my loving. So that's kind of how it happened. Like I don't know. I I never thought that I would write a book.
Okay,
I,
so
I,
um, my original question was, why did you choose affirmations for your book? But the affirmations came before the book.
yes.
So I guess it changes the question in a way in that if you had a TikTok page called Shay Loves Affirmations, why why affirmations? Why did you start doing affirmations? Because I guess that was the precursor to the book. So why affirmations? Why did you start publishing affirmations?
Uh, through my healing, the healing part of everything. So my therapist, she made me journal. And then as I started journaling, we talked about affirmations. So to me, the affirmations help speak back and speak to me. So I felt like, okay, if these affirmations are helping me get up and keep going every day, or giving me energy to just like face another situation that happened. I just felt like, okay, I can put this in my book too, because I feel like it'll help other people too. And so I didn't, to be honest with you, I don't know if it was going to help people or not. I know what it did for me, and I know what like the response has been from that. Like I see how people treat me now, and how they move around me, which shows that I did something right. So that's kind of how that came about.
And it's really not weird. My youngest grandchild, my daughter-in-law and my son-in-law, they say affirmations with him every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or they allow him to say them because he's learned them all. And when they first gave them to me several months ago, I started looking down them, and it's a confidence builder. It's uh, something to promote your self-awareness. And I guess some of us do it. And I know I did it when I was working. Didn't call them affirmations, but I used to get up in the morning and it's like, ah, let's go out there and do it, And then the job got bad, and I was like, well, anyway. So, so, um, so you started doing affirmations through TikTok, and it then segued itself into a book. But it's not just affirmations. It's not just a journal. Can you tell us about the book and the format itself?
Um, so the journal piece, so it's two pieces. It is a journal in sense of you have the opportunity to journal yourself, right?
Mhm.
But the other piece of it is my journal. So for instance, when I started the learn piece, those are actual, that part of it is from multiple pages of my journal where I put it all together, and I'm like, okay, this is what it looked like in the phase of me learning, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So when I was putting the book together, and it's crazy because when I was putting it together, I wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna put this in here and then I'm gonna put the journal. I didn't think about putting the journal piece in until later for everybody else. But when I put the when I put it together, I just wanted you to have a little piece of me. Like I wanted you to see how I put this together in my head when it was time for me to learn. And just give you a little background so that you can, when you get ready to do your part of journaling for the learn piece or the heal piece, you can see like, okay, this is how I learned. So have you considered this when it's time for you to start your journey when you're learning? And or maybe you did already, maybe you didn't, I don't know. But I wanted you to have a piece of me. I wanted it to be relatable. I wanted it to be like for me, this is me being giving you a little bit of Nicole and being a little bit transparent with everything. Because when you look at my Facebook, when you look at my Instagram, you just see a happy family of five. And I recently just posted something that showed a whole bunch of pictures of me when I was literally at the lowest, and you would have never known because I'm always smiling. I'm always like out and about doing stuff, but literally, I was broken at that time. So I wanted it to be as like relatable as I could make it. And the only way I could do that was to be transparent about what I was going through.
And that was one of the observations that um, after I got my copy of the book and found out what it was about. And yes, I see you on Facebook, not the other ones, but Facebook. And every now and then I would see you, but it's always that smile. It's always been that smile. And I would have never known that you were going through things, and quietly, but you went through these things. So, I guess we can call it the tagline or the under chapters of the book is learn, heal, grow, and love. And then within the book itself, and it's not a hard read. I want people to know that it's not a hard read. Um, when you pick this up, and I'm going to say when you pick this up, not if you pick this up, when you pick this up, it is broken down into the love, heal, grow, and love, the learn, heal, grow, and love. actually form the chapters. Was that something you planned all along, or did it just come that way? Because you said it came from your journal. So is your journal broken up that way, or is it just the way that you thought made logical sense?
I felt I felt like it made logical sense, but I only felt like it made logical sense because one day I looked down at my arm. So I have a tattoo. I know you probably can't see it on
I
here,
can't,
but
I can see the tattoo, but I can't read it. But okay.
it's a butterfly and it says
Right.
learn, heal, grow, love. I
Okay.
got it like 2 years ago. Again, I had no idea that I was going to make this into a book. So when I was sitting there and I was thinking about Shealuv's affirmations and I put everything together, I was decorating or designing the front cover of the book. I was just like, it's something missing. So when I looked at it, I was looking at my arm and then I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to break this up so you can understand a little bit better about each part of my healing journey. So that's where it came from. And I know it's going to sound cliche, but I really feel like in those moments, God was giving me what I needed to make this what it is now, if that makes sense. So I didn't know I was going to put Learn, Heal, Grow on the book. I didn't know that 2 years ago when I got this tattoo that it was going to mean even more. And then there's also, I know you didn't ask me this, but there's also another part. If you look at the book, there's a phoenix in the back. About 3 years ago, I have a real big phoenix on my back. But I got the Phoenix because I was going through so much. I really felt like I was just burnt out. Like I felt like I really went down to ashes. And then my Phoenix represents me coming back as who I am now. So I had no idea that I was getting these things. And then this is what it would grow into, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and it's not cliche at all. And if people would listen, including myself, I've learned to listen more. I think God is always speaking to us. Um, it's just that human in us that don't always listen or hear a piece of it. So that kind of segues into a question. What or who was the biggest influence or inspiration for the book?
I feel like the biggest influence for the book was me. And when I say that, it might sound a little selfish, but I'm saying me because I had many people play a position in getting me here, but it was ultimately up to me to actually do the work and actually use everything that was put in my lap. If I didn't pray and talk to myself and convince myself that this was going to be okay, nobody's going to judge me. Nobody's going to be like, oh, she just did this for whatever. Like, no, people are going to get it. They're going to like really genuinely see, like, wow, like she really went through some stuff and put it in a book and is sharing it. So I don't like, I feel like ultimately I was my biggest influence. After that, I feel like the things that I went through is what put it all together. I'm thankful for people still being in my life and giving me grace that allowed me to have these experiences to the fullest, right? So certain people could have left my side and just said, no, like, I don't feel like dealing with this while you're going through this, and that would have changed how this ended up. Right. So I'm thankful for the different people like my mom, my husband, my therapist, my spiritual mother, some close friends for going through these things with me and helping me and pouring into me. But ultimately, I feel like I'm the biggest part of this because if I didn't do it, it wouldn't be here right now.
So when I developed this question, I saw exactly what you said,
Mm-hmm.
but I said I couldn't not answer the question because, I mean, ask the question because I wanted to see if you would speak what I already saw.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is your transparency that is the catalyst for the book. And transparency is always good. Um, and I've talked to a few authors being on the spotlight, and your transparency and talking about seeing a therapist, but in some of their admissions or speaking out, now I have to ask the question that yes, the book is about you. Yes, there was a therapist, but in the book itself, did it lend itself to another form of therapy, or was it cleansing or had its own degree of therapy to you?
I think it I think it does have its own degree of therapy to me, and I do feel like it's cleansing. Like I feel like when it's been years. So I wrote this like I started writing my journal like 3 years ago or so. So I feel like God wanted me to go through all the things that I went through. Right? I didn't like it at the time, but I had to do it. I had to go through it. And getting to this point made me feel like I did what he asked me to do. I did whatever it was that he said. However, whatever this was supposed to be, I did it. And it's like, whew, like, yes, it's cleansing. It is therapeutic. I listen to this all the time. I am not, and that's another thing. I don't like reading books. I'm an audio person.
Me
So
too.
for me to pick up a book, I'm like, I gotta be really into it. So even for me to even for God to even use me that this way to put a book together, I'm just like, okay, he want me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And it's crazy because it took for because I was scared. I would tell you that I was really scared to do this. So it took for the shutdown. You know, I'm a government employee.
Yeah.
So it took for the shutdown for me to have to sit and have nothing to do. And I'm looking over at these pages and at this manuscript that was sitting for like 4 or 5 months because I already had it together. I just ain't do nothing to push it to where it needed to go. So while I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm like, okay, God, all right, let's go. And then I just from there it's just that's it. So it is a sense of it is therapeutic. It's releasing. I feel thank I feel like I did it. And then I'm just like, okay, now I'm like, well, what you want me to do next? Because this wasn't that hard. It's fine now.
Okay,
So
so that leads into two of the latter questions, because we've moved quite along. So, start journaling about 3 years ago.
mhm.
During the shutdown, you already had it basically in its format. So, from the time you picked it back up, yeah, let's go from the time you picked it up to really concentrate on it. How long did it take you to take it from the manuscript that was already there to the publication?
took me about it took me about I want to say altogether maybe 3 months. Well, no, the furlough just ended. So when that first started, I went into the process of like publication and everything. So that's about 2 months. October, November, December. Yeah,
Yeah.
about 2 months.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
yeah, that was the easy part. The publication, like when I got my mind on something, I'm gonna do it. So that was easy for me. I did a lot of research. I had an editor, but that was an experience, and I feel like everything happens for a reason.
And that is something that I want to do. Some people have had easy times with the publications of their books. Some people have hard times.
Mhm.
Some people have had problems with, because um, I've edited a book before it went to publication. Um, Her newest book, maybe not so much. I think I may have edited some of the individual pieces, but not so much. But there are challenges, and there are different ways of doing this. And you did a lot of this on your own. So I am going to invite you back when I get this authors roundtable together.
Okay.
Um, but I guess the next question is, this has just been released and the sales are going, and I'm sure they're picking up, and I'm praying and hoping that people look at this and they decide, is there bouncing around in your head a Affirmations 2, or is there another book in a different format?
It is. So I'm praying about it, and it's it's here. I already started writing it. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it together without like offending anybody, if that makes sense. Because this time around, um, I'm going to kind of go back a little bit and break it up into two. So, like, the first one is going to be about learning and healing, but it's going to be based from childhood. So, it's going to be learning in childhood, but healing in my adulthood. So, I feel like I just need to kind of put it in the format of where I don't want someone to read it and be like, oh my gosh, like, why would she say that? Why would she do that? And maybe that's something I'm struggling with. I don't know. But I just want it to be done in a decent way and still get my point across. So it is going to be. I feel like it's going to be two more, and then after that, I think I'll be done.
Okay. So, and I see where you're coming from. Um, I do see that. I do see that. And I know who I am, who is not a writer, even though people want me to do that. Um, but I can see that. So I'm going to, and this is an ask. This is
Mhm.
not, you're not beholden to the asking. Um, but my last author, Belinda Lane, who basically is my sister from childhood, it is her family and her father in particular that formed my faith walk. So, and I'm going to admit something afterwards, but would you like to read one of your pieces from the book? And you can
Yeah.
say no.
Oh, that's fine. I can
Okay.
read. I can read
All right,
one.
because, and the reason, and I want the people that's looking at this, the reason is I have a copy of the book. There are people
Mm,
that don't have a copy. And it's easy to say, do I want a copy? But hearing it may shift them to purchasing this. So if you have a
okay.
piece, could you read it for us?
So I just opened this. So I'm gonna go with the page that was here when I opened it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is under my healing portion. And this is the part that says, I have to forgive me first. Ah, this is the one, right? Every day, someone is apologizing for something, and there's always another person on the other end choosing whether to forgive. But have you ever hurt someone so deeply that I'm sorry, a simple apology wasn't enough? You knew you had to do everything possible to truly to be truly forgiven, to rebuild trust, and have a fresh start. While working through all the steps to be forgiven, did you ever pause to consider forgiving yourself first? Forgiving yourself is crucial. You can't fully be forgiven by others if you haven't extended that forgiveness to yourself. Think about this. If you're seeking forgiveness, have you really done the internal work? Hurt feelings need repair, and that requires dedication and honesty. I once hurt someone I loved dearly and jumped straight into wanting forgiveness without realizing I hadn't done the inner work necessary to prevent hurting them again. I had to take a step back and ask myself, why did I do this? Why did I hurt someone I love so much? Why did I make the choices I made? That's when therapy became essential. It helped me to dig deeper, strip away the excuses, and face myself honestly and transparently. Facing me was more challenging than seeking forgiveness. Being transparent with yourself and looking yourself in the mirror is one of the most challenging yet important moments in life. You have to be open to accept the good, bad, and ugly about you. When you truly understand the impact of your actions and the value of the people around you, you'll want to be better and do better.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I want people to know that I don't journal. I probably journal in my head, but I don't do it. I know of some journal groups, but if people will read that and see a bit of themselves in it or a bit of therapy, again, that's where I think that, like I said, it's not a long read, a hard read. It's a combination of affirmations, journal from your journal, and um, the ability to journal within the book because there's pages for that. Um, but I think they would get a lot out of it. Um, when we were setting this up, you asked me what did I think of the book, and I did not answer. Um, I will now. Um, and we'll break it up into learn, heal, grow, and love. And the learning part, I think my favorite journal item was grieving with my cape on. And the healing part, you read from healing, but I think the one that I took away was awaken your shift. In the growing part, it was mask off, who are you? And in the love part, and I was not sure whether it was from journal or some other place, it is my mother's prayer. That was my favorite part of that. Okay, so um, we're where we need to be, but I do have a question, and I don't know if it'll be hard or not because you were very forthcoming with this. But you put a book out. You want people to read it. Um, and like you, I'm an audio person. Oh, maybe you'll do the audio with it. Um, what do you want your readers of the book, viewers that will be viewing this, considering or going out to buy the book? What do you want the takeaway to be from the people that are going to buy your book?
That we don't have to go through life alone. Like, I think if we all take a moment to just open up and be transparent about life, then there won't be so many issues. There won't be so much of like just you not wanting to share or you feeling like you'll be judged, things like that. I just want people to know like it's okay. I feel like, and I don't know if this is what I portray, but I feel like people, like I said before, look at me as if, oh, everything just seems perfect. And one thing that I feel like I did not do enough of was talk to other people to get help. Yes, I had my therapist. Yes, I had my mom, you know, my husband, and at times me and him aren't on a good page. So what do you do when you don't have the person that you're supposed to be the closest with in the entire world? Right. So I just want people to know that you don't have to go through this alone. You don't I never even thought about like, oh, how many books am I going to sell? That wasn't what my thought process was. I don't want you to feel like you got to go through this alone. So if it's anything in here, if it's just one little piece, a sentence that you can take and it says, all right, this sat with me, I'm satisfied. So that's it.
So I knew the Nicole pre-Nicole. I knew the goings before the Powell. And two things are hard for me to wrap my head around because I knew when you guys were together, you were supposed to be together. And hearing you guys wasn't on the same page is just mind-boggling to me. Also, like I said, we've known each other for years, but we've been in different circles, both in churches and proximity. So I didn't see that down, Nicole. And again, that boggles my mind because it's always that smile. It was, I mean, from day one, it's always been that smile. So, um, but there are other people that are probably suffering in silence there, like you say, that you don't have to go through it alone. And I'm hoping that the people that need help um, will understand what was spoken here and don't have to go through it alone. So we're done, dear. We're done. It wasn't that hard.
Oh,
But
oh.
I do urge everybody to go out and get a copy of the book. I purchased mine from Amazon. Where are the other places that people can purchase from?
So it's on. Well, so first, I gave you the link, so you brought it before everybody else could buy it. So it was only
Ah,
certain people that could get the book. So it was actually,
I feel honored.
well, it was edited a little bit after you got it too. So
Okay,
it wasn't the same. It's the same. It was just a couple little things in there that I was like, okay, I want to change it. So I edited a little bit and then I released it. So,
okay.
but I have it on Amazon. I do have an audio version on Spotify. It's on Etsy. It's on Amazon Kindle, and I just got it on Barnes and Noble.
So the Spotify is your own voice?
No, I told I did some work. So a friend of mine, a friend of mine was like, you can get AI to read this for you. And I said, what? So I downloaded everything, did my research. I put my manuscript in, and I picked the voice, and she did it. The only thing I realized is AI cannot distinguish between what to say when it's a question mark and like an exclamation point. So so that's the thing about a robot and a person. But when you're listening to it, she tries to make the sound that she thinks an exclamation point is.
Oh, what about because there's a certain amount of feeling into it. Does it grab the
Yes,
feeling?
he does. Yes, it's you gotta listen to it. It's on Spotify.
And
Actually,
and I will, but I
I'm
tell
a
everybody, I'm from the age of the Terminator. So I'm waiting till something happens. Now I have AI around the house. Here's one listening right here. Um, and the one in the kitchen is really updated, but
I'm gonna send them to you so you can when we finish everything. I'm gonna send them over because I have like you can download it and listen to it first. So I'm gonna send that over to you. But I actually had my mom listen to her first, and my mom she didn't even know I was writing a book. So
really
I got her approval on this before I even did anything. The only people that knew was my son and my mom. I vaguely told Terrence.
vaguely.
Because I just wanted, yeah, vaguely. I wanted to surprise him. Like I felt
Ah,
like me doing this was gonna be like it was like, wow. Like, so I didn't want him. He would just ask me, like, what are you writing? Because I would just always be right. He's like, what are you writing? And I'm like, I'm journaling, like mind your business. So, but now, he's like, all for it. But yeah, my mom was like the first person to hear it. So she was like, where'd you get her from? I was like, girl, don't worry about it. Did you like it or no? And she was like, she loved it. So yes, I'm gonna send them over to you so you can hear
yeah, I've heard songs and everything using AI. I'm still adjusting to it. Yeah, still adjusting to it. So I thank you for coming on. Um, I hope that we get a lot of viewers for this spotlight. Um, I'm a little biased because you are one of my favorite people in the world, and
Oh,
you're
thank
definitely one of my favorite couples. But I'm hoping that everybody will embrace the book for what it is, whether they listen to it or they read it. It's not a hard read. I used to read a lot, and like I said, behind me is a bookcase. I used to read a lot, but now I'm Spotify and Audible. So, um,
you. Yeah.
but it does lend itself to a bit of more personalization when you're holding it. And, whenever I talk to an author, I like to purchase the books, not so much to support them, but before I talk to them, I don't want to just ask questions without having some precursor to what it is. So again, I thank you for coming on. I just can't wait to see what it does when we put it out there.
Oh yes.
All right,
Thank you for having me.
no problem. So well, it's good night. So let's say goodbye to all of your new listeners and your new readers.
Yes. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.